Reminder that Mordecai is a beef muffin, and I want him to raw me. Ick, now in hindsight I probably should have specified that I was talking about Mordecai from Fire Emblem. Cats be like, okay, I'm gonna radiate serotonin now. If you can't produce your own serotonin, cat made is fine. Helpful grammar tip. Father is for physical distance. Further is for metaphorical distance. And father is for emotional distance. Who hurt you? My father. Did you not read the post? When you're watching TV and your sibling gets out of the good chair to get a drink. Sibling culture is willingly dehydrating yourself for hours to avoid giving up the seat you earned. I had the funniest thing dream. I was hanging out with Michael Jackson and someone asked him what his pronouns were, and he said, he. And I woke up crying. Informal poll. F boys get money means forget boys, accrue wealth instead. B. Have sex with boys and get money for it. C. F boys, i.e. boys who F are paid well. D. Arg. Boys are paid well. E. Shoot. Boys sure understand money. God bless punctuation in the English language. So my new English professor is my uncle. Only he has no idea because he hasn't talked to my mom in about 20 years. So do you think I should tell him? You know what, never mind, he's a dick. I'm going to talk to my mom to get dirt on him so I can blackmail him if the need arises. You should write a story about a boy for an assignment and include loads of life details about him that your mom tells you so that it's obviously him. But change all the names, then hand it in and be really confused if he questions you about it. Hey y'all, do you want to see a dragon that drew? Of course you do, here he is. Suggestion. Give Robert a friend. This is Mr. Wiggles. Suggestion. Robert needs a girlfriend or boyfriend. Is Mr. Wiggles his boyfriend? This is Robert's significant other, Gertrude. Mr. Wiggles is just a friend. You know what's probably more fun than playing chess? Cheating at chess. Oh, would you look at that? My pawns found Jesus and now they're all bishops. So realize. It looks like I'm putting a thimble on the board, but actually my rooks have been using their downtime to build another rook. One that's better, stronger, faster. Hey, welcome back. While you left to get a snack, those 6 pieces you captured slipped their guards, tunneled to safety, and emerged right in the middle of your royal palace. Oof, looks like you've got my king cornered. Maybe this is a good time to mention that shortly before we started playing, my pawns and knights revolted and instituted a representative democracy. Feel free to kill the puppet ruler. That was the one remaining vestige of our tyranny. You cringing servant of the crown. Vive la revolution. My ex's 13-year-old sister invited me to Thanksgiving dinner, and y'all better bet I'm going. My dad. There is no way in hell you are going. Me. If you think anything you say is going to keep me from my ex's aunt's apple pie, you are severely mistaken. The plot thickens. My ex isn't even going to be there. Dead as they replaced him with me. New rule. You're not allowed to be a goth if you're transphobic. Additional rule. Being transphobic is not punk rock. Also note. Transphobia isn't metal either. You can't be counterculture while beholden to the toxic prejudices of the dominant culture. That's not how it works. Some fair. If you aren't paying for a product, you are the product. Me using Tumblr costing Yahoo $1 billion. Frequently asked pre-sale questions. How much is my Tumblr account worth? If you're an owner of a popular Tumblr account, the following information might upset you. Our network of brands calls Tumblr the bottom of the barrel because it is the least desirable network for a company to promote on. Tumblr users are notoriously known as a tough to market to crowd, and only particular niches work really well. For that reason, even large and active accounts are worth very little. You can lower the value even further if your Tumblr is in the adult niche. Good. Say what you will about Tumblr, but it's rather punk that capitalism has no power here. that we cannot be turned into products and are free to roam the tundra and scream into the woods about whatever like some primal beings. You would not believe Bill Nye if 10 million science guys. As I fell asleep, I've been slipping PPs into my friend's pockets every time I see him for 5 full months. I've been waiting for him to notice, and he finally caught me today. And he said the words, "I'm not kidding. Haha, you would be a bad pickpocket." And I looked him in the eyes and said, "Oh, yeah?" and told him to check for 2 PPs in his other pocket. And he did, and watched his world crumble. I think the best part about this long haul prank is the gentle clink clink of him rustling the PPs in mild confusion every single time after I slip them in there. I managed to make a fully interactive custom NPC husband in Skyrim, but somewhere along the way I messed up. So if I give him any items, the sound of eating bread plays at full blast, non-stop. Reblog if you want a relationship like this. Get a rat and put it in a cage and give it 2 water bottles. One is just water and one is water laced with either heroin or cocaine. If you do that, the rat will almost always prefer the drugged water and almost always kill itself very quickly, right, within a couple of weeks. So there you go. It's our theory of addiction. Bruce comes along in the back '70s and said, "Well, hang on a minute. We're putting the rat in an empty cage. It's got nothing to do. Let's try this a little bit differently." So Bruce built Rat Park, and Rat Park is like heaven for rats. Everything your rat about town could want, it's got in Rat Park. It's got lovely food. It's got sex. It's got loads of other rats to be friends with. It's got loads of colored balls. Everything your rat could want. And they've got both the water bottles. They've got the drugged water and the normal water. But here's the fascinating thing. In Rat Park, they don't like the drugged water. They hardly use any of it. None of them ever overdose. None of them ever use in a way that looks like compulsion or addiction. There's a really interesting human example I'll tell you about in a minute, but what Bruce says is that shows that both the right wing and left wing theories of addiction are wrong. So the right wing theory is it's a moral failing, you're a hedonist, you party too hard. The left wing theory is it takes you over, your brain is hijacked. Bruce says it's not your morality, it's not your brain, it's your cage. Addiction is largely an adaptation to your environment. We've created a society where significant numbers of our fellow citizens cannot bear to be present in their lives without being drugged, right? We've created a hyper-consumerist, hyper-individualist, isolated world that is, for a lot of people, much more like that first cage than it is like the bonded, connected cages that we need. The opposite of addiction is not sobriety. The opposite of addiction is connection. And our whole society, the engine of our society, is geared towards making us connect with things. If you are not a good consumer capitalist citizen, if you're spending your time bonding with the people around you and not buying stuff, in fact, we are trained from a very young age to focus our hopes and our dreams and our ambitions on things we can buy and consume. And drug addiction is really a subset of that. John and Harry, does capitalism drive drug addiction? Casual reminder that, if you are a Sherlock fan, Arthur Conan Doyle would hate you and everything you stand for. Don't even mention that little shit, he ruined my life. If in 100 years I'm only known as the man who invented Sherlock Holmes, then I will have considered my life a failure. Sir Arthur Conan Doyle, the original Robert Pattinson. Still blows my mind how quickly capitalism self-destructed streaming TV, like Netflix, rejuvenated a dying market and made it way more affordable and accessible, and then everyone needed a slice of the pie and fed the whole thing up. Incredible. An actual genius. What if we made television convenient and inexpensive again? Corporations. What if we milked this money cow until it died? Someone please help. I dragged this picture of an old man, but my computer froze, and now he's stuck there, no matter what webpage one go to, and I feel like his ghost is judging my choices.